The first couple who I have the pleasure of introducing for this night, celebrating marriage, many of you already know them. These are people who have been extremely active in the LGBT and greater community. So I have the pleasure of introducing Mark Phariss and Vic Holmes.
You know, I'm going to go over just so I can hear that.
Well, I put our watch out, so I think we're safe. First, I want to thank everyone for having us here tonight. It's a little odd experience looking at a room that I can't see anyone. It's all dark, so I can't see any facial expressions or people. But we are very appreciative that you have us here. I'm Mark.
I'm Vic. I'm still Vic.
And we thought we'd talk to you. We thought we'd talk to you about a couple things. One was how we met. 2, why we want to marry. And 3, when are we getting married and where? But before we do that, I noticed that Peggy and Stella mentioned their 2 dogs, their mixed labs, and that they have a place on Cedar Creek Lake. And so we have a place on Cedar Creek Lake, and we must meet and must get together. But since you all put your dogs in the program, we did not. We have to now. We have 3 beagles, Abby, Betsy, and Jake. So going back to first of how we met, and we'll hand off the microphone. We met at the birthday party of a friend, a mutual friend, and I was immediately taken by Vic. It's really not hard to see why. And yet he didn't seem to be as taken by me as I was by him. So, so I was at a group and he was there and talking to him, and all of a sudden then he would move somewhere else. And so I'd wait a little bit, and then I'd kind of meander over to where he was again, and then he'd do the same thing again. And really nothing has changed since we've been together. I keep wanting one of those child leashes so he doesn't run off. But I asked him out. He was dating someone, so we hung out as friends. And eventually when he broke up with his boyfriend at the time, I was very sad for him. And immediately asked him out. We had our first date at an HRC Federal Club event with Betty DeGeneres and Elizabeth Birch there. It was fantastic, and that day was August 9th, 1997, and this coming August 9th will be 18 years.
Who would not want to marry this guy? I mean, come on. Yeah, so we met at this party, and we count that as our anniversary, if you will. It'll be wonderful to have a marriage anniversary to add to that. When we did, I will say that one of the most wonderful things about knowing Mark has, before we counted that first date as our anniversary, we hung out, we knew each other, we did things socially, and I really got to know him as a person. And he became a person that I found central in my life at that point, because he's so cute and he's so caring about everyone else. And I think that doing this lawsuit, the reason that we wanted to marry in the first place was because I love him and he loves me. And that's what marriage is. There's no redefinition involved. It's 2 people that love each other and want to express that commitment to not only themselves, but also the rest of the world. And so that's really why we wanted to marry. And knowing him from before we count that anniversary date all the way through these last 18 years, it'll be 18 on the 9th of August, when we do tie the knot on the 21st of November, it will be just the culmination of a love affair that I have been so amazed to have been involved in.
Part of us being a couple was Vic was in the Air Force, and as a result, he couldn't be out in the military. Don't ask, don't tell was still in effect. And I was a corporate lawyer, still am a corporate lawyer, and didn't feel safe being out professionally. I was out personally, but not out professionally. So we came up with various codes that would enable us to, as he was stationed in San Diego and Mississippi and then Arkansas and then finally Wichita Falls. As we commuted for 13 years, as we did that, we had to find ways to say we loved each other to each other without someone knowing what we were saying. So we came up with codes like, what is the password for the computer? Star 131. What is the code for the garage door opener? I just can't remember that. Oh, it's star 131. We learned Chinese because we figured no one around would know Chinese. So we learned all different ways of communicating with each other. This leads me to our wedding, the most significant day that.
The last 18 years have led us to the wedding.
So we have, in anticipation of a absolutely fantastic, affirming Supreme Court decision tomorrow or Monday, we really have no doubt. It is, in our opinion, it's virtually absolutely certain. We would say 99.9% certain that we will have a positive outcome, and we've put our money where our mouth is. We have booked a venue. We've hired a photographer, a videographer, florist, a baker. We've ordered our rings last night. Everything you could do, and thousands of dollars later, we will personally hunt down the Supreme Court justices if they rule the other way. And I'm kidding. This is being recorded, so I probably shouldn't have said that. Maybe I should hand him the mic. We are very excited about getting married. It's going to be in November. It will be in North Texas, and we can't wait.
Utterly true. And one thing I'll say to add to that, so as he said, we get the florist, we got the video, the band, et cetera, and every time we called to get a service, to talk to somebody, do you do weddings? And then the next question would have to be, well, do you do gay weddings? Or this is a service between two men, is that going to be a problem? And every single one of them said, I'm really sorry you have to ask that. No, it's not a problem. And it wasn't like we were asking our friends, who's somebody who's friendly. We were just picking people out of the phone book, essentially, and saying, hey, is this going to be an issue? And the entire overwhelming consensus was, no, we're sorry you have to ask that question, and yes, we are going to help make your special day special. So.
And just to add a couple more details about the wedding, and then I think we're almost out of time. Vic will be in his military dress uniform. I will be in a tux. We have a best man and a best woman. We have 14 attendants. We have a ring bearer who is...
We couldn't leave anybody out. Everybody wanted out.
We have a ring bearer. That 5-year-old great nephew will bring in our rings on the pillow. Will in fact not be a pillow. It will be the flag that flew over the Capitol on April 28th, the day the Supreme Court heard the Obergefell case. And our officiant is former Congressman Charlie B. Gonzalez, a friend of ours, who got us tickets to the Obama inauguration in 2008. and whose father is Henry B. Gonzalez, former congressman and a great civil rights icon, as is his son. So that's what we have planned for our wedding. We absolutely cannot wait. And the other thing I will say about the Supreme Court decision is that I'm 55, and for the last 50 years I've been reciting the Pledge of Allegiance. And in that Pledge of Allegiance, we all declare that it'll be with liberty and justice for all. And that's what this Supreme Court decision is going to absolutely affirm. Thank you very much.